Hey guys, Jesse here from the Subi Sanctuary, and in this video we have another fix or scrap highlight. So in this one we have a 2004 WRX wagon. Starting at the front here, you can see we have actually a JDM sedan STI front end. So that does include the headlights, the grille, the STI hood. The fog light covers were originally there, but part of the deal is I had to let him keep them. Some of the cool features on the JDM STI front end is the marker light, as well as the low presence of rust. So let's go ahead here and pop our hood. Our hood is not one of those hoods that totally likes to close, but that should kind of make sense because the car has been sitting about 3 years. So under the hood, we have a silicone inlet, the GR STI intercooler, and otherwise the engine is all stock in there. Now this car actually does run and drive, but not incredibly well. Another cool feature there is the sunroof on this one. Then inside the car, it's all pretty much stock. This being a 2004 WRX, came with the black seats, and it is sporting a set of WeatherTechs as well. We have 250,000 kilometers on the odometer. Stepping back here to look at the doors, they're in decent condition, not too bad. Then panning over to our quarter panel, it's actually surprisingly decent. Then into the rear of the car here, typically nothing too exciting in the rear. It has seats, and it has some old Tim Hortons wrappers on the floor. Then we have some sweet Rally Armor mud flaps, and then some actually pretty nice condition GC8 wheels with some winter tires on them. Then at the back of the car, we're looking pretty standard, except for this, which is one of my favorite exhausts, actually. I have this on my Bug-Eye wagon. This is a Borla Hush catback. Now over to the passenger side of the car, we have a bit more of the typical Subi rust on our quarter panel. Our doors actually look pretty decent. So now we'll go ahead, put the car up, and show you guys what we got going on underneath. So under the car here, you can see we do have a solid rad support. Our U-frame is solid, but not incredibly pretty. Then our standard steel control arms are hanging in there. This one's maybe a little more scary, but it's still solid. Up in there, we've got some stainless steel flex lines. You can see in there, we definitely have some newer suspension. You can still see the tags on it. Then we have a unique catted downpipe here. Now moving into the floor and rocker area. It's actually probably better condition than most of the GDs that I see come through. The floor is probably starting to get a little soft. It's definitely got some activity, but it's actually solid still at this point. I wouldn't have expected that. Then into the rear rocker there, we've got a fully intact rear rocker. A little crusty on the components and such, but it is all there. Now we're kind of panning around on our floor here, show you what we're working with. I'd like to point out here in the exhaust, someone has tragically injured our sweet Borla Hush. Normally the flange would be about here. For whatever reason, it comes all the way back to here, which means they would have cut the Borla Hush short. So to put this on another car conventionally, it would have to be re-extended and the flange put back there. Then over to our other rocker panel on the inside, it's actually looking pretty decent. And we have found our first hole there. And our rear brake lines look like they have been tuned before, and they're pretty scary again, so those would definitely need to be replaced. And then into the rear suspension components, not looking too bad, but not looking awesome. However, it does have a solid rear subframe. Often we see these frame rails absolutely cooked. This one is hanging in there and looking solid. So, a really common spot on the wagons is up in the shock tower. I have already reached my hands up in there to feel them. They're actually still like they're still present. I wouldn't say they're solid, but they are still present. They're not huge gaping holes, which we would normally see. And then, as you would have seen there, a nice close up of our quarter panel lip. This is kind of good because normally at this age, the car would have already been poorly repaired. This is just the original rust. So that adds value in itself. Where if you do want to repair this, then you know the extent of the rust because it's right in front of your face rather than covered up with filler. And we'll do one more little tour underneath of the car here, give you one final overview before we put it down. There, now we're going to put the car down and actually fire it up so you guys can hear kind of what we're working with in the engine area of this. So now we're using our trusty Avapow booster pack to fire this guy up. We're in boost mode now. So currently at this point, I basically know as much as you guys know about this car. These are kind of my first impressions and first go through of it. When we went to wheel it onto the trailer, we did start the car. We were told ahead of time that it wasn't running on all cylinders. They did say they had done a compression test and there was no compression on one side of the engine. My conclusion to that, without looking into it further, is that it actually will have probably ended up skipping some timing on the one side of the engine. So now we don't have the valves completely closing where they should. So later we'll get into that if we're actually going to go any further with this car. But at this point, we're more or less trying to figure out, is this car worth fixing up or should we part it out? All right, well, with that being said, that wraps up the video on the blue heat-amine here. Let us know what you guys think. Is this a fix or is this a scrap? All right, till the next one, guys. Happy Subaruing.